So in this video, I really want to talk about an idea that I've had circulating in my head for a while. I wrote like a little 5-page essay about it. I'm going to try to link that in the comments below. It's still a work in progress, but if anyone wants to read more, they can. The idea is about ignorance, and I want to preface this that ignorance in this situation is not a negative term. I don't want anyone to think that I'm calling out anyone here. This is not meant to be political. This is not meant to name call. This is just making us more aware of our own biases to information. So ignorance is just a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of information or being insufficiently educated about a specific topic, but in no way is that a negative thing. It's just our attitude towards the specific topic that is really telling about how you're going to use or respond, let's say respond to your own ignorance. My hopes here in explaining these, my 4 types of ignorance is so that we can all recognize our own biases and improve our world by fixing our behavior around certain things. 4 different kinds of ignorance I'm going to base on awareness and willingness. Are you aware of the areas that you don't know something about? And are you willing to preserve that ignorance? Is something you don't know purposeful, or does it just happen to be an ignorant blind spot? Do you just happen not to know about something? Maybe you don't even know you don't know it, which we'll get to later. And on willingness, it's do you actually work to improve this lack of knowledge, or do you try to preserve it? Do you accept that you don't know something and you never will, so you never try? Or do you realize there's something you're missing and you make an effort to understand it? The first attitude towards ignorance is the B. The B is aware they don't know something and unwilling to be ignorant. Bees know that the more pollen they get, the more honey there will be. So it follows that the more information you get, the more knowledge you will gain, the less ignorant you will be. Bees always keep learning, and they know there's always more to learn. Next is the dog. The dog is unaware of their ignorance, but also unwilling to preserve it. So this is the curious personality type that maybe doesn't have the resources to actually gain any information. Think about it as a dog who lives in a house and they have a yard and that's it. They know there's things outside, but they're never going to get there. So it's not really in their world. But if something comes into their area or they get taken on a walk somewhere and they see something new, they really want to know about it. They get excited about the things they don't know, but they didn't know they didn't know them. So they're unaware of, they don't know what a alligator is, or dog doesn't know what an alligator is, but if it sees one, it wants to go sniff it and see what it is, right? So this is the curious sign that maybe doesn't have access or hasn't had previous access to information. And the B, on the other hand, is just as curious, but has access and knows how to find the information and actually makes an attempt to learn more about the things they don't know. The sheep is a little more complicated to understand because the sheep is willing to maintain their ignorance because they don't know what they don't know. This is really a attitude of people who are overzealous loyalists to ideas and never question anything. They accept what they are given and they follow the knowledge they have because that's all the information they have, and they think that's all there is. There's no reason to question further because they have all the information. Why would they go further? They don't know that they might be wrong about something because they've never been told they're wrong about something. They keep their nose in the grass They say, this is good, I know this, I don't need to know anything else because this is good. We're happy. There is nothing else to be gained because this is clearly the best thing. A disclaimer here that being a sheep is not necessarily a negative thing. There are a lot of things I don't know. There's a lot of things we all don't know. But it's how do you react when you discover there's something you don't know? No one is conscious of being a sheep because the second you're aware that you don't know something, you are now a dog. So you might be a sheep about something and you never even will know it, because if someone tells you you're wrong, now it's how you respond to this information that's going to direct your personality to another way. It's how you respond to this information that's going to change your attitude of ignorance about this specific area. Which way will you go? This brings me to my last category, which is the bull. The bull is stubborn. It's the typical description of the symbol of a bull in Western society. They are stubborn in what they don't know, and they're okay with that. If they receive new ideas, it is rejected because that would change their worldview, and it would mean they were wrong. And that's not okay with bulls. A bull attitude is, I am right. If someone tells me other information, it's either not true or I don't care because this is what I know and I'm not going to know other things. This is really where cognitive dissonance comes in, where it's really hard to change someone's mind about information because it's in direct conflict with the view they already have. Which is also why bull attitudes are also the cause of bigotry and hatred and things that are in general bad about society that are maintained and change doesn't happen, is because there's enough attitude around it as we don't need to change this because what I know is right. Again, I want to stress that ignorance here is not a bad thing. And you can be a bull about one thing and a sheep about another, and a bee about one thing and a dog about another. It really is not about you having one attitude towards ignorance. We all have different things. If you're interested in something, you're going to be much more excited to learn more about it. It's more likely you will be a dog than a bull. The example I'm going to use is picky eaters. So I am not a picky eater. I don't personally understand it, but I realize there can be some chemical relationship with taste, and they don't like these things because of the way their body reacts to it, or they have other associations with foods they don't like. But for me, I really like trying new things. Even if I know I don't like it, like watermelon. I'm not a fan of watermelon, but if it is on the table, I will take a bite because I know everybody likes it, and I was like, I should enjoy this. I've never enjoyed it. Every time I'm like, no, it's not worth it. I don't like it. When I lived in Taiwan, I knew that I was going to experience a lot of foods that I had never experienced before. And the one thing I really enjoyed was fruit. I was very excited and very curious to try all of these new fruits. In this situation, I'm going to say I was a dog. I knew there were things that I didn't know, and if I saw something I wanted to try, I'd just jump for it. Yeah, I'll try it. However, in some situations, I was a sheep because I didn't know this fruit existed. A couple examples is a wax apple. I didn't know that was a thing, and it actually became one of my favorite things. So I had my nose in the grass. I did not know this existed. I didn't know I didn't know. I see one, and now how do I react? Do I become a dog and like, ooh, look, there's something really cool, I want to try it? Or do I become a bee and I say, oh, if I don't know about this one, there's got to be other ones I don't know? Or do I put my face back on the grass and don't try it? This was going to be very difficult if I was someone who was a picky eater and I know the foods I like, I eat these foods, these are the only foods I eat, I'm living in Asia, crap, now I have to live on McDonald's. That would make me a bull in the situation. there are things that I'm a bull about, and I know I'm a bull about. Most sports statistics, you ask me a basketball player, Michael Jordan, and he's not relevant anymore. At this moment, I cannot think of a basketball player that is currently playing. And I'm a bull about that topic because I don't care. Personally, it's not something that I really want to know about. I am aware that I am ignorant, and I am more than willing to maintain that ignorance. So again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not overly zealous or anti-basketball or anything. I don't care. But you give me a topic that I do like, language. I will fall into a Wikipedia wormhole about any language, phonology, phonetics, morpho, syntactic, grammar of Gosha languages in sub-Saharan Africa. Like, that is something that I am very much a dog about. But I'm also a bee because I know there's things I don't know and I'm ready to look. This is just part one. I am going to come back and explain these a little bit better, but I wanted thoughts and feelings about this idea, and I will continue to explain it further in a video. I have some examples I really want to talk about and how you can change your attitude towards any topic and you can improve yourself and maybe your own future because there's information you learned that maybe you didn't even know was there.